All right. So I'm not, although I look like an uncle, but I'm not going to waste too much time in my introduction and stuff. That though nowadays you can Google and do a lot of things. Only then you start attending the lectures. So this is my, after a few days, I will enter into 11th year of my coaching. And since day one, I am teaching audit subject only. First, I started teaching final CA level. And then I started teaching inter CA level. All right. After a couple of years later on. So it was backward integration, but I'm still teaching finals. All right. Okay. So now when we come to this, and multiple times students have scored all India first in audit and stuff. I will not do that blah, 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 blah. Otherwise you'll doze off now. All right. But obviously I'll be searching for the next one who can score all India first in audit subject. But it's not that I'm just going to talk big things. We'll do big things also. Now, when we talk about audit subject, you know that you may talk about, your favorite subject may be tax, maybe consultancy, whenever there is a lecture of income tax, you're like, oh, income tax. All right. Then IDT and stuff. And whenever there is lecture of audit, you will be like, oh my God, if I survive this lecture, then it's great. Right. But at the end of the day, when you do a market survey, you will realize that it is audit subject that is going to give you a lot of money. All right. Because you know that as an auditor, what is our job? Come on, man. Nowadays, students are well researched. Right. So because they have internet and along with other sites, sometimes they go to educational sites also. So tell me, what is the job of an auditor? Anyone over here? What is the job of an auditor? Interpret the financial statements, check the financial statements. All right. Express his opinion whether these financial statements are correct or not. All right. And then that opinion will be relied upon by all the stakeholders, shareholders. Yes or no, sir? Yes. So even if you look at the annual report of Reliance Industries Limited. All right. My God. I am ready to change my preferences if he is ready to accept me. All right. Now, but only for him. Now look at this. When you look at the annual report of Reliance Industries Limited, you will clearly see that they have written lots of stuff. But no one will trust this annual report unless they have printed their financial statements. Now, when we look at their financial statements, okay. When we look at their financial statements, you will find this something called as independent auditor's report. Now till the, just a minute. Reliance is heavy for iPhone also. Now, you will find this independent auditor's report. Now, till the point of time, this independent auditor's report is not issued, not signed, stamped, all right. No one is going to trust them. No matter how big Reliance is, no matter whatever is their growth, no matter whatever be their contacts. Right? But till the point of time, these financial statements are not signed by these auditors, these practicing chartered accountants, no one is going to trust Reliance Industries Limited. And that is the reason that our Honorable Prime Minister, at least as of now, said in the Parliament that your signature is more powerful than my signature. All right, but he is great at buttering. Okay, but somehow we felt better, all right, after listening to that statement. Because all the foreign funding that Reliance gets, all the shareholding that Reliance gets, no one is going to trust Reliance Industries Limited unless it is signed by a practicing chartered accountant. All right. Now, you know that Mr. Ambani has 2 sons, 1 daughter, right? All right. Imagine that one of his son, similar, look alike to me. So, all right. I tried searching also whether he is my father or not. I am ready to compromise my ethics. All right. Okay. So, you cannot hear me? Too disturbing. All right. So, I was on, yes, Mr. Ambani's son. Now, imagine that Mr. Ambani's son is a chartered accountant. All right. Hello, I'm talking about Ambani's son. Imagine that. That is why I'm not sitting and teaching. Okay. Imagine that he is a chartered accountant. Somehow he managed to clear. And let us say that he starts his own practice. Okay. That, okay, I'm going to practice from today onwards. So, Mumbai, Marine Drive facing, he has this small office of 5 floors. And let us say that he starts practicing. And let us say that being a practicing chartered accountant, he checks the financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited and signs on the financial statements and says that these financial statements are showing a true and a fair view. It is proper. Don't worry about it. Tell me, will you trust? Will you trust him? No. Why? Because he is the son and he is just checking the financial statements of his own father. Yes or no, sir? Yeah. Imagine that your parents and your friends check your answer sheet. Then in that case, everyone is going to be all India rank 1 plus 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 plus. All right. So what do you think? That only a practicing chartered accountant checking the financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited will be enough? Or that practicing chartered accountant needs to be a person unrelated to Reliance Industries Limited? So, come on, tell me, what do you think, that auditing will be just an examination of financial statements or it will be an independent examination of financial statements? Very good. You cannot call auditing as an examination of financial statements. It has to be done by a person who is uninfluenced, unrelated to the client. One more time. You cannot call auditing just an examination. It has to be done by a person who is unrelated, uninfluenced by the client. Therefore, never say auditing is an examination of financial statements. Always say that auditing is an independent examination of financial statements. Now, let us imagine a company called as Nathu Gaira Private Limited. NGPL. Nathu Gaira Private Limited. All right. And on the other side, you have Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance Industries Limited is the, is the Jurassic Park of corporate world. And Nathu Gaira Private Limited is nothing. That is just my fictional character with 1 lakh rupees turnover. Then in that case, can I say that if you are a practicing chartered accountant and if you get Nathu Gaira Private Limited's financial statements with 500 rupees fees, then in that case, can I say that you are just going to check blindly and sign over there that this is showing a true and fair view, it is completely correct without even checking a single invoice, yes or no, sir? So you understand this thing, whether a company is big or it is a small company. Acha, no matter even if you are auditing Reliance Industries Limited or let us say you are auditing Tirupati Balaji Trust. Even Tirupati Balaji Trust will have its own balance sheet and P&L, yes or no, sir? P&L? Income and expenditure account. Hey, you don't be in my lecture in that yes sir mode. Huh? Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yes sir, yes. Come on, Tirupati Balaji Trust will have its own balance sheet and P&L or income and expenditure account. So can I say that if you are a devotee of Tirupati Balaji Trust, then in that case, you are just going to sign the financial statements without even checking it once, yes or no, sir? Will you check the financial statements? Will you ask for the invoices? Will you ask for the donation receipts? Yes. So you understand one thing. Whether it is a commercial entity or a non-commercial entity. Whether it is a commercial entity or a non-commercial. Our job is to examine the financial statements and express an opinion. Alright. So one more time. Let us combine everything that we have studied. So auditing is an independent examination of my face of financial statements of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. Alright. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion. See, even you and I, both of us want to earn money. But in this profession, alright, you are always going to be polite on your face and you are going to be greedy in your heart. Alright. So come on everyone. As a practicing chartered accountant, what are we going to do? What is our view? We want to express an opinion. Alright, so let us combine everything. One more time. Auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Acha, congratulations, you have studied the technical definition of auditing. Alright. So we will just, there are two ways in which we can study. One is I give you simple words. Then I give you 15 breaks. Then you keep on enjoying. And you're like, Pragnesh sir. So my name is Pragnesh. Okay. And on the other side, we really talk about practical things. All right. We try to understand ICI language. All right. And we target an exemption in this subject. All right. So nothing less than an exemption will be the target. But trust me, I will never tell you that just by heart this paragraph. I will never say this. I will connect everything with practical life, provided you are interested in doing so. Now, it's not my first visit to Bangalore. All right. I have visited earlier somewhere. All right. And this is my, I think, 9th year of visiting Bangalore. All right. So I know Bangalore students. In fact, I am going to conduct one get together of my past students also. And at Bangalore, this is the only city, and I am saying it on record. This is the only city where I have to prepare before I enter a lecture. That is the impression of Bangalore students on my mind. All right. This impression no other city has ever created. And this city has given maximum number of intellects and also the rankers. But I don't judge students just by rankers. Bangalore students have got highest packages in the country. I am saying this on record. A non-ranker getting 22 lakhs as the starting salary in ITC. All right. So I have all of these experiences with Bangalore students. Now it is up to you whether you want to maintain that level or not. All right. I will try for a few hours. Okay, but I'm a very marketable commodity. So if the crowd is intelligent, I will connect it with practical life. We will enjoy the practical life. We will laugh in the practical life. Right? And I will teach you the module language. But if the crowd is not interested, then trust me, I also have Chinese products in my store. All right. And I can very well adjust to a 40 or 35 marks crowd also. All right. So as far as I know Bangalore, they are always going to target an exemption. So it is up to you what you want to do. All right. So are we ready to learn in module language? Yes. Yes. All right. See, I'm not going to introduce the subject and these are the number of chapters and stuff. You will anyways not understand index right now. So what we'll do is we will start with the subject practically, learn a few concepts, write about them. Then once I feel that you are in a position to understand the index, all right, then I will introduce the index and weightage and everything. All right. So everyone please take out your notebook. You have to do a lot of writing practice. Huh? Please take out your notebook. Write down the chapter 1. Nature, scope and objectives of audit. I will keep on dictating whatever I am writing because my handwriting is not up to the mark. All right. And I am aware about it. Okay. So I will dictate it 2-3 times, but allow me to write in front of you, then you will also feel confident. If I just start PPTs, you will doze off. So write down the nature, scope and objectives of audit. All right. Introduction. Nature, scope and objectives of audit is the title of the chapter. Because it is a big class, you should not feel left out till the last bench also. If there is any problem, we will discuss it. All right, if there is any doubt. Okay. Last benches have always been interesting. We find a lot of masti also over there and a lot of rankers also over there. All right. Introduction. Write down please. Practicing chartered accountants. Provide following services. As per Chartered Accountants Act 1949. So our menu is decided by Chartered Accountants Act 1949. This act is applicable to whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir with effect from 1st July 1949. That is why 1st July we celebrate as CA Day. Alright, practicing CAs provide following services as per CA 1949. Now, what are the services that we provide? Write down ATM. Yeah, we are ATM. A for assurance services. A for assurance services. Now, what do you understand by the word assurance? Checking the data given by the client, expressing an opinion, so that people start trusting that particular data. So that is nothing but what? Assurance. Assurance just means trust. So assurance services, man, what do we do? We examine the data given by the client. Examine the data given by the client. And express an opinion on such data. And express an opinion on such data. Full stop, continue. Stakeholders of client's business, the shareholders, the employees, the lenders, stakeholders of client's business. Trust the data stakeholders of client's business trust the data after expression of our opinion. Stakeholders of client's business trust the data after expression of our opinion. So that is assurance service. Then T for taxation services. I am not going to make you write anything about this. You already know what is taxation service. But the unfortunate reality is that even non-CAs can provide taxation services in this country. Alright. The only service which I can exclusively provided by CAs is assurance service. Then M for management consultancy services. Management consultancy, not marital consultancy. You want to grow a business, I will help you. Amalgamation, merger, acquisition, business combination, growing field. Bangalore has the maximum number of consultancy firms in the country. And taxation is this is the mecca of taxation. So management consultancy services. All right. Now tell me, what do you think? Audit will be a part of which service? Assurance service. So always say that auditing is an assurance engagement. What do you say? Auditing is an assurance. Why do we say engagement? I'll tell you. Because client is engaging us. We cannot say client is hiring us. We are not a taxi. Alright, so we said that client is engaging us. Alright, so the relationship that we have with the client is called as engagement. So if you really want to have a good romantic engagement in your life, first start understanding these engagements. Right? So everyone over here, tell me, auditing is an assurance engagement. One more time, auditing is an, so leave one line and write down. Auditing is an assurance engagement. There are more assurance engagements. I will talk about that later on. See, if you start developing grip over the words, only then you will start, building confidence. Auditing is an assurance engagement. Okay. Now, this was just a simple introduction in student-friendly words. Right? This is not given in the module. What is given in the module is, write down. First, definition of audit. Definition of audit. Write down, please. Auditing is an independent examination. Independent word you will highlight. Auditing is an independent examination. Independent means uninfluenced. See, even though you feel now that you know the meaning of the word independent, still you should write these meanings. Why? Because in audit, it is not just enough to know that your sister is a sister. You have to call your sister and say, please come here, daughter of my father. All right. So it is very important that you know the elaboration. All right. So auditing is an independent examination. Down arrow of what? Of financial information of an entity. Of financial information of an entity. Okay. Now listen to this. Entity could be profit oriented or not. Irrespective of its size or legal form. Profit oriented or not. Irrespective of its size or legal form. And no matter whichever entity I am auditing. बस अब आज ऑडियो इशू है पीछे सर, फट रहा है आवाज है सब. डाउन एरो. One minute. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Hello, hello, hello. Is it okay now? Hello, hello, hello. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. All right. Done, everyone? So tell me if you understand. This was the what part of the definition. All right. And the last line was the why part of the definition. Yes, karo, you have to do these markings. Come on, very quickly. What and why. Auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. All right. Now everyone over here, tell me what is the auditor's task going to be? Just as a normal Englishman. Tell me, is he going to check the accounts along with the journal entries? Yes or no, sir? Yes. Basic work, no? Come on, can I say that if he's looking at, if he's checking purchase invoice, all right. If he's checking purchase invoice, then he will have to see the goods inward, the GST part and stuff. Yes or no, sir? Yes. So he will need audit evidence. He's going to need some audit evidence. All right. Then he's also going to check whether financial statements are in compliance with accounting standards or not. So what I'm making you write is that let us say if they ask you to elaborate a little bit, all right, then you should be able to write few more lines. And I am picking the lines from the module only. All right. So it will tally with the suggested answer. All right. So on the next line, please write down. Don't write it as topic number 2. All right. Write down, please. Tasks to be performed by auditor. Tasks to be performed by auditor. I'm just making you write in short over here with keywords. Elaboration you will see in the textbook, that I will tally with the textbook, don't worry. So please write down jam cat. Just a little bit of coding. Jam cat. J for journal entries. Supporting the financial statements. A for audit evidence. M for manipulation, but our statement should be to detect manipulation of the financial statements. See, basically there should be no omission, no duplication. That is how people manipulate the financial statements. Manipulation dash to detect manipulation of the financial statements. Because we cannot say, no, his task is to manipulate the financial statements. Although some auditors have done that and they have lost the degree, we'll talk about that. Alright. And once you lose the degree, you don't get it back. Huh? Otherwise, we would have announced a separate batch, second innings batch. No omission, duplication. C for clarity of the information. Presented in financial statements. C for clarity of information presented in the financial statements. A for accounting standards compliance. A for accounting standards compliance. C for clarity of the information presented in the financial statements. A for accounting standards compliance. And T for the most favorite phrase of audit, true and fair view of the financial statements. True means whatever information is given, whether it is correct or not, and fair means fair presentation. Whenever in account subject, professor tells you to write more notes to accounts, it's not for the true purpose, it is for the fair purpose, to make it more fair. Alright. Otherwise, figures are already correct. Okay. So these are the tasks to be performed by the auditor. Done, everyone? Yes, yes. Alright. So now everyone listen over here. Let us say that in this Reliance Industries Limited, my God, big auditors have signed. So we have Deloitte, and then we have Chaturvedi and Shah. I think he has been since the inception part of Reliance, since when Dhirubhai was handling. So, when these auditors have signed, and let us say you invest 3 crore rupees in Reliance Industries Limited, and then later on, you lose your 3 crore rupees. Reliance Industries Limited comes crumbling down. And then later on, it is found out that there was some manipulation of the financial statements. And the auditors have signed on the financial statements. Then in that case, can I say that I understand that Mr. Ambani will be held liable? This is just fictional, for example. I understand that Mr. Ambani will be held liable. But don't you think that even the auditor should be held liable? Yes or no, sir? Can I say that auditor should also be held liable for the damages? Yes or no, sir? Yes. All right. Come on, just park this topic aside. Let us talk something different. Let us say when you're writing your examination, and let us say that you copy when you are writing. Let us say very smartly you copy. All the chits and stuff already. You had it with you on that eraser also. You had everything written over there. Right? And very smartly you copy. Acha, you took help from your friends also. All right. See, he's remembering his days. All right. So very smartly you copy. Okay. And then let us say you are the examiner. You are not the student. You are the examiner. So student has written exam in Bangalore and you are, let us say, in Mumbai. What is your name? Prem. I'll call Prem. All right. Salman Khan. Okay. So let us say Prem is sitting in Mumbai, AC office in that Mumbai, and he gets your paper. You have written in Bangalore and you have copied. All right. And let us say that he is checking that particular paper. Okay. He is checking that particular paper. And you have copied very smartly. And let us say he was not able to detect that you have copied. And then later on it is found out by some moderator or someone that you have copied, through some CCTV, whatever it is. Then can I say even Prem should be held liable? Yes or no, sir? Look at this, Prem, you don't have followers, man. Girls, why do you think Prem should be held liable? Did he ditch you? Why do you think Prem should be held liable? Tell me, did Prem do his job? Yes or no, sir? Did he check properly? Yes or no, sir? He was not checking in a metro train. Did he check properly? Yes or no, sir? Yeah. Now, can I say you copied very smartly? And that is the reason he was not able to detect yes or no, sir? Then in that case, why do you think Prem should be held liable? How many of you still say that Prem should be held liable? What, do you have anything against Prem? Okay. Any reason why you are saying Prem should be held liable? But what evidence? You see, he went through the answers and you copied very smartly. You wrote right answers, then you cancelled and again you rewrote it and stuff. Okay? And you copied it, let us say, from some other students, but your sequence of answering was also different. All right. Intentionally you did some spelling mistakes and stuff. So you were very smart in copying. Still Prem should be held liable. All right. What he is going to detect or what he is going to get into some CBI evidence? All right. And CBI of our country is busy, with some selected people. So everyone over here. Anyone over here who still says Prem should be held liable? No. Now tell me, let us say that, what is your name? Madam A. Madam B. All right. Okay. Now they are sitting in a sequence, in a line. And let us say both of them have copied. Now she is A and she is B. All right. No one is C over here. All right. So let us say that she started copying from A. All right. So B started copying from A. Sequence is same. All right. Only handwriting is different. Otherwise, word by word, everything is same. Whatever spelling mistake she had committed, A, even B had committed the same spelling mistake. Now both the papers go to Prem. Now tell me, Prem just checked it and he could not detect that it's a copy case, even though both the papers were back to back. Now tell me, will Prem be held liable? Yes or no, sir? Because now you feel that he has done that work negligently. Yes or no, sir? Yes, exactly. Apply the same logic in auditing. No, we are not heirs of James Bond. James Bond is not our forefather. And what do you think? Auditing is some investigation job or what? We are professional examiners. We are just professional. Tell me, who will prepare the financial statements? The CFO of Reliance Industries Limited or the auditor of Reliance Industries Limited? Come on, one more time. Who is the preparer of the financial statements? So can I say it is the management of Reliance Industries Limited that will prepare the financial statements? Yes or no, sir? Auditor is just going to check the financial statements. All right. In fact, let me tell you, in 1860, when we were busy fighting freedom, so in UK, England, already industrial revolution had begun. And these concepts of auditing and everything had started. So there is a landmark case in audit subject, which is a UK case. It's called as Kingston Cotton Mills Company. So in that, the management manipulated the financial statements. And then there was a case on the auditor, who was the chartered accountant. So there was a case on the auditor that you failed to detect it. And the judge of that case gave a landmark judgment. Today, if the soul of that judge is still hearing us, then I would like to thank him. All right. Because he gave a landmark judgment. He said that auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Very famous line in audit subject. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Now, when you're walking on the streets, there are some dogs here and there. If they bite you unnecessarily, then you will call the corporation. That leke jo pagal hai. If they bite you unnecessarily. Alright. But let us say if you are doing something suspicious. Alright. You are trying to run away from there. You are trying to hit that dog. And then when they come behind you and they start barking, can I say that is a proper behavior? Yes or no, sir? Yes. Exactly. Auditor is the same thing. So don't start calling me a dog. Alright. Come on, tell me. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. One more time. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. He is supposed to maintain alertness. He is supposed to maintain alertness. But he is not supposed to doubt the client unnecessarily. For example, let us say he is into construction business. Alright. And I am appointed as his auditor. Construction business. Either black money. Black money. Builder. Achha, how much do you pay to the politicians? Tell me, no, please. I want to know what is exactly their cut. Do you think I am going to act in this manner? Tell me, I am an auditor over here and not some auntie gossiping. Uncles also gossip nowadays. Just that they gossip in a specific place. So everyone over here, tell me, as a practicing chartered accountant, when I am appointed as an auditor, I am a professional examiner. Do you think that I will straight away start doubting his intentions? No. I will straight away start doubting his financial statements? No. Let us say I am checking the financial statements. Then I saw that there is a 15 lakh rupees bill, which he has created in the name of his son only. I told him that why you have paid 15 lakhs to your son? Actually, he gave consultancy. Which consultancy? Consultancy to, actually he gave some consultancy. I asked him, what type of consultancy? A paint color. He said that color should be mix of blue and red. So that was a very good consultancy, and for that unique, consultancy, we paid him 15 lakh rupees. And now can I say that now I have caught him? Yes or no, sir? Is there any valid reason behind this 15 lakh rupees? Now I have started developing doubt. Now bow. Now I will start barking and he will start running. Now I will start investigating. So one more time, auditor is a watchdog and not a, he is supposed to maintain, he is not supposed to start with a suspicious mind. Alright, you are not supposed to start with a suspicious mind. Alright, but if he develops any doubt, if he gets an evidence and develops a doubt, then he is supposed to bark further. Then he is supposed to investigate further. Am I clear with this? Yes. So never think that auditor is a, his forefather is James Bond and he's here to investigate something. No. Alright. We are just professional examiners. I'm going to give you 5 statements. Never ever forget this statement in your life, because this is audit subject. Alright. First statement. Preparation and presentation of financial statements is the responsibility of management. One more time. Preparation and presentation of is the responsibility of the management. Prevention and detection of fraud and error. One more time. Prevention and detection of is the primary responsibility of the management. Boss, if something goes wrong today in the financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited, first who will be held liable, CFO or the auditor? So one more time, that is what I said. Prevention and detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of the management. Auditor is supposed to maintain an attitude. Auditor is supposed to maintain an attitude, and that attitude is called as professional skepticism. To be skeptical means to ask questions. Alright. One more time. Auditor is supposed to maintain an attitude of professional skepticism. That means maintain alertness. So whenever you see a dog now, don't call puppy nahi. बोलने का professional skepticism. क्या बोलने का? Professional skepticism. Or you start revising audit in this manner only. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Just start revising in front of a dog. People will call you mad. But then when you get the degree, they will fall in line. So one more time, auditor needs to maintain an attitude of professional skepticism. He needs to maintain a questioning mind, not a suspicious mind. If he obtains an evidence that indicates some doubt, then he is supposed to investigate further. All right. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud unless it is proved that he was negligent. If you prove that you are negligent, that auditor is negligent, then he can be held liable. Come on, let me give you one more practical case. In 2020, the worst thing that happened was pandemic. All right. But just few months before pandemic, there was a case going on all the news channel, IL&FS case. 99,000 crore debt trap. But they got saved because pandemic was giving more TRP. So no news channel then wanted to talk about IL&FS. What IL&FS did, you will not believe this, that for last 5 years, that is from 2015 to 20, their profit margin was declining, but their managerial remuneration was increasing. Acha, their debt equity ratio, do you understand debt equity ratio? Their debt equity ratio went to 19:1. Listen to me. But still they were given the credit rating of A++. Credit rating of A or A+ is a very safe credit rating. That means that this company is safe to invest. By that credit rating, they borrowed funds from the public, because you can borrow funds from the public only if you have a valid credit rating. So the higher the credit rating, more funds you can borrow. With that credit rating, they borrowed funds from the public at 7 to 7.5%. All right. No, sorry, 8.5%. They borrowed the funds at 8.5%. And then they lent the funds at 7%. So I'm borrowing at 8%, lending at 7%. So that is net loss of 1%, yes or no, sir? All right. Still, the auditors said that financial statements are showing a true and fair view. The big fours, slip of tongue. So they said that financial statements are showing a true and fair view. Now, don't you think that here auditor has acted negligently, yes or no, sir? Don't you think that auditor should be held liable, yes or no, sir? Today in the break time or after the lecture, just Google out case on auditor, IL&FS, judgment on auditor in IL&FS case. All right. You will see that under Companies Act 2013, some judgments have been passed against them. All right. If you want to just research about it after the lecture, you can do it. So what I want to say is that if you can prove that auditor was negligent, then you can hold him liable. Same happened in Satyam Computers 2007-8. All right. There were lots of clear evidences that auditors were negligent over there, and that is when they were held liable. Boss, there was a very famous line said in that judgment of 1860. They said that if there is a needle in a haystack, right, so if there is a stack and if there is a needle somewhere, and if you are not able to find, we can understand that. But if there is an elephant in the room, all right, and if you are not able to see, then can I say you need to get your vision checked, yes or no, sir? That means you were sleeping. So that when it is proved that auditor was not able to see the elephant in the room. No, don't worry, I am not from that generation of body shaming. We used to call people elephant and stuff. Nowadays you can't call them. So tell me, if auditor is not able to see the elephant in the room, then in that case he will be held liable. Are you with me? Yes or no, sir? So one more time. What is auditor's primary objective? Ding, 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 ding. This is what happens if you don't study in ICI language. All right. You feel that in theory paper that, sir, we are able to understand the concepts, but we are not able to understand that in which question we are supposed to write what answer. All right. Exactly. Come on. Hear me out properly. I know you will give me the answer. What is auditor's primary objective? Primary objective. What is the meaning of the word objective? Purpose. What is auditor's main purpose? To express an opinion. See, so tell me, this is where students clear or students don't clear. If I ask you in simple words, let me tell you, all of you are chartered accountants. But it is about understanding what ICI is going to ask, understanding in their words, and then answering. The moment I asked, what is the main purpose? Everyone said, to express an opinion. But when I asked, Then what is auditor's primary objective? Only few were able to answer. So the problem is not in the intelligence. Problem is just in understanding the words. Alright. So you please understand. No one over here is dumb. It is just that we need to focus on the words. So whenever you understand, you look at the word objective. In whole audit subject, objective will be used at least 100 times. When I say objective means the purpose. One more time. When I say objective means the purpose. But when I say objectivity, then that's a quality. You know what is the meaning of the word objectivity? Unbiased. You should not be partial. Are you getting my point? One more time. So if you see the word objective, it is purpose. If you see objectivity, then that is nothing but a quality that you should be unbiased. So one more time, what is the auditor's primary objective? To express an opinion. But tell me, when he is expressing an opinion, his primary objective was to check the paper. But when he checked the paper, he saw that, oh my God, back to back there are two papers and everything is same, including spelling mistake. Then in that case, can I say you should understand it's a copy case? Yes or no, sir? So auditor's primary objective is to express an opinion and maintain an attitude of. So if he finds an evidence which suggests that there is some fraud, then he should investigate further, yes or no, sir? So one more time, auditor's primary objective is to, and auditor's secondary objective is to, secondary purpose is to detect fraud. See, your primary purpose over here is to study, correct? But sometimes you may end up making relationships, making friends and stuff. ये कैसा समझा? Alright, so auditor's primary purpose is to express an opinion. But while doing that exercise, he may end up detecting fraud. So you came here to study. But while doing that exercise, you may end up finding someone. Alright, so your primary objective is to study. But your secondary objective is to study only. I'll keep you. So everyone over here. One more time. Auditor's primary objective is to, but his secondary objective is to detect. Are you with me? Yes or no, sir? Acha. Who is responsible for preparation and presentation of financial statements? But can I say at least auditor can help him in preparing? Yes or no, sir? And no. In practical life, we do. But never write that in the books. You know, sometimes there are some students whose fathers or elder brother, is a practicing chartered accountant. Then, how many of you having your relatives as practicing chartered accountants? Raise your hand. Alright. You guys, please be careful in exams. Because what happens is you hear from them. That client knows nothing, Ray. Client knows nothing. What we do is we only help them in preparing the financial statements. Then we just take that sign that you have prepared it. And then we check it. That actually happens in practical life. But, okay, this is getting recorded. We should not encourage such practice. Are you getting my point? Yes or no, sir? I have seen students just borrowing from practical life and writing it. That preparation presentation of financial statement is the responsibility of management, but sometimes auditor can help in preparing. No! Alright. So one more time. Preparation presentation of financial statement is the responsibility of. Prevention and detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of management. Primary responsibility of fraud and error is always of the management. Auditor's duty is to express an opinion on the financial statement. Auditor needs to maintain an attitude of. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud unless it is proved that he was negligent in the performance of his duties. Never forget these lines. Please write down, everyone. Basic fundamentals, or you can also use the word premise. This is the premise on which the whole building of audit stands. Basic fundamentals or premise of audit of financial statements. Write down there. Preparation and presentation of financial statements. Is the responsibility of management. Is the responsibility of management. Achha, I'm introducing one more word today. See, for the students who are lucky enough to still have their grandparents, you would have seen that in your family. All the execution and stuff is done by your parents only. But your grandparents still sit on a chair and they're, no, what you're doing is wrong. Huh? You cannot scold my child like that. No. Alright, so grandparents don't execute, but they give strategic direction. They give strategic direction. Alright. Similarly, tell me in a company in Reliance Industries Limited, can I say Mukesh Ambani is responsible for all the execution that is being done? Yes or no, sir? But yes. Mukesh Ambani will sit and execute everything. Lao, show me how many invoices. Yeah. Do you think Mukesh Ambani will sit and execute everything? Come on, man. Who is going to execute their CFOs and stuff and all the managers and stuff? Mukesh Ambani's job will be to give strategic direction. One more time. Mukesh Ambani's job will be to give. All right. And such people, who are responsible for giving strategic direction and who are senior to even management, are called as those charged with governance. They are called as what? Those charged with governance. All right, government name. Those charged with governance. But tell me, in small company, you see only one Rajnikant over there who is handling everything and also giving direction to himself only. So in all the companies, you will not find that there is a those charged with governance separate. In some small companies, management itself is those charged with governance. All right. So what am I going to write in order to ensure that this line becomes proper? Preparation, presentation of financial statements is the responsibility of management. And where appropriate, those charged with governance. Please highlight that line. I mean this phrase, those charged with governance, because I think you are writing this for the first time. TCWG. So management is the one who will execute and TCWG is the one who will give strategic direction. Management could be your CEO, CFO, and TCWG is the board of directors and stuff. The chairman, board of directors. All right. Management is the one who will execute, CEO, CFO. TCWG is the one who will give strategic direction, board of directors, etc. All right. Second, prevention and detection of fraud and error. Prevention and detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of management. See, now management and those charged with governance, they go like lovebirds only. So wherever you write management, you can always write and where appropriate those charged with governance, to make your answer look bulkier. Prevention, detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of management, and WA, where appropriate, TCWG, those charged with governance. Baba, I am wired like a terrorist. Okay. Prevention, detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of management, and where appropriate, those charged with governance. Auditor's primary duty. Auditor's primary duty is to express an opinion on the financial statements. Auditor's primary duty is to express an opinion on the financial statements. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. I strongly believe that you can revise auditing in your personal life. Like, when you go home late and unnecessarily your parents start shouting at you, and tell them, can you please act like a watchdog and not a bloodhound? No, you should investigate if you have an evidence. Otherwise, stop doubting your child unnecessarily. It is possible that you may get injured. But at least the concept revision is there. Auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Full stop, continue. It means he should maintain an attitude of professional skepticism. Professional skepticism. What is the meaning of the word professional skepticism? Questioning mind. And maintaining alertness. Questioning mind and maintaining alertness. Questioning mind and maintaining alertness. Full stop, continue in the same point. He should act based upon facts and evidence. He should act based upon facts and evidence. He should act based upon facts and evidence. And not by a, what do you say, gut feeling or something. All right. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud in the financial statements. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud in the financial statements unless it is proved that he was grossly negligent. Which gent? Grossly negligent. Unless it is proved that he was grossly negligent. See, when you order, some pizza and stuff, normally you would like it from Domino's, and that also you would like cheese burst. And that also with chocolate or something. So cheese should melt from the pizza. Yeah. Then when it comes to writing answers, why do you make bhakri pizza? All right. So, auditor can be, is not liable for fraud. But if someone can prove that he was careless, then he can be held liable. I think then you will take 6 attempts to get your language on track. And you know such people who write such childish English, they sound so cute. Huh? You've seen that? So if examiner finds that you're very cute, then he would like to meet you again and again. Are you getting my point? So stop your cuteness and please ensure that you're writing some professional language. So unless it is proved that he was grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. So never come to me with this, sir, but actually I know the concept. So how does it matter if I just use some different words? And how does it matter if I come here in boxer? All right, or shorts? See, everyone has to maintain certain decorum. All right. So I'm not asking you to buy out 100% module language. At least some level of professional language is required. All right? So never come to me with that argument. I'm not running a 3 Idiots movie over here. So one more time, auditor cannot be held liable for fraud in the financial statements unless it is proved that he was grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. All right. So finally, we can understand one thing. Don't give it a next point. Just write down over here. Next line, center alignment. Auditor's objective, purpose. This is just some rough work. So his primary purpose, primary objective is to express an opinion on the financial statements. Like how your primary objective is to study, but secondary objective, he is a very aggressive for his secondary objective. No? All right, secondary objective, incidental. This is derived. This was not my main purpose. Incidental slash derived. Secondary objective is to prevent and detect fraud and error. Secondary objective is to prevent and detect fraud and error. So one thing we have understood, that tell me, Acha, are you done with this? All right. So tell me, this signature by the auditor, all right, do you think that it is a guarantee? Do you think it is a guarantee? So if examiner is checked, that means, can I say that if examiner says that this student got 100 on 100, that means, can I say that that student is the most scholar student, yes or no, sir? There is still 1% chance that it could be a copy case. All right. So when normally ICI says All India rank 1, then normally, right, that student has to be a good student. Sometimes we have had some different experiences. So what I'm trying to say is that when examiner checks and he gives marks, everyone understands the level of the student. Right? But sometimes it could be a copy case who has got All India rank 1, yes or no, sir? Yes or no, sir? Doesn't happen in ICI exam, but happens in other exams. So what I want to tell you is that signature by the auditor on the financial statements and audit report, is it 100% guarantee that everything is correct? Do you agree with this, yes or no, sir? that every 100% everything is not correct. But still we can start trusting. So one more time. Auditing is not 100% guarantee. One more time. Auditing is not we can trust the auditor's signature. But it is not 100% guarantee. Now this is childish English. I'll give you the better version. The cheese burst. So one more time. Auditing is a reasonable assurance. But not an absolute assurance. One more time. Auditing is a but not an, because auditing also suffers from limitations. I repeat, auditing also suffers from some limitations. I'll talk about those limitations. But let me tell you, this all the ministers and stuff, they keep on telling that, chartered accountant should detect fraud and chartered accountant should do this. And so if some corporate scam happens, right, everyone starts blaming chartered accountant. See, with great power comes great responsibility. You've heard that? Then with limited power comes limited responsibility. In Companies Act 2013, if auditor demands data from the client, and if the client does not share the data, maximum what auditor can do? Either he can write in his report or he can resign. See, if law gives us a power that if auditor has demanded the data and the company is not sharing the data, then Ministry of Corporate Affairs will launch investigation. Then management will give us their data also. Data ki kya baat karte hai? Are you getting my point? But with great power comes, great responsibilities. Then with limited power comes limited responsibility. You may feel that auditing is a very glamorous subject. But when you go to practical life, even to get one purchase invoice from client is a task. Because they know that maximum what we will do. We'll write in the report or resign. If we resign, they will appoint another chartered accountant. Anyways, there are many nowadays. So what I'm trying to say is that because of these points, auditing is a reasonable assurance and not an absolute assurance. Everyone over here, continue in the same point number only. Leave one line and write down. Auditing is a reasonable assurance. You will highlight reasonable assurance word. You will be using it 100 times in audit subject. Auditing is a reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance is high level of assurance, but not a guarantee. So whenever someone is asking you that, can I trust you in my life? Tell them, yeah, reasonable assurance. Auditing is a reasonable assurance, but not an absolute assurance. But not an absolute assurance. Because auditing suffers from inherent. Inherent is unavoidable. So tell me, till 2 o'clock, do you feel that there is any need for me to give you even a single break? Can we continue this lecture straight away till 2 p.m.? No. See, we may feel so, but we cannot. Because even each one of us is suffering from inherent limitation. No matter whatever be the interest in the subject, no matter whatever be my passion, alright. But there is something called as pressure also. So obviously, we cannot straight away go till 2 o'clock. Because everyone suffers from which limitation? See, limitation is something that you create. Limitation is something that you can avoid. But once I say inherent limitation, means it is unavoidable. So whenever I use the word inherent limitation, say unavoidable. So let us say normally I would allow you to go out of this class when there is a break time. But if you still want to go, alright, and 5-6 times you want to go, then in that case just tell me, sir. No, sir, washroom and stuff, that's very old. I'll give you something trending. Tell me that, sir, I'm suffering from inherent limitation. Then I'll allow you. Okay? That will be our code word. Alright. So auditing is a reasonable assurance, but not an absolute assurance, because auditing suffers from inherent limit. Is everyone clear with this? Yes or no, sir? So whenever you want a break, what are you going to tell me, sir? We are suffering from inherent limit. But if you ask me in every 15 minutes, then that is limitation, not inherent limitation. All right. Everyone over here. Now, because you have understood, reasonably understood what is audit subject, little bit you have an idea now. All right. At least you know that it is not some reincarnation of James Bond. Then in that case, I can teach you in technical English the objectives of audit. All right. So everyone please write down. Objectives of audit. Okay. One more time. When I say objective means purpose. Achha, in account subject you have accounting standards, right? Similarly, in audit subject you have SA, standards on auditing. Total there are 11 chapters only in audit subject. And out of those 11, 8 chapters are based upon standards on auditing. So around 60-65 marks syllabus is based upon standards auditing. And the balance 35 marks goes for the other 3 chapters. Alright. But in those chapters also few concepts are dependent upon standards on auditing. So effectively 70-72 marks syllabus is from standards. Now, I just introduced what is standards on auditing. In accounting standards, the numbers are great. Yeah. AS1, AS2, AS. My first standard starts from SA 200. We don't have SA1, SA2, SA. The first standard, heavyweight. The first standard itself starts from SA 200. Now, why that 200 number, that I will explain later on. Babaji will teach you numerology also. But as of now, just write down as per SA 200. SA means standards on auditing. As per SA 200. Now, every accounting standard has a title. Similarly, every standard auditing also has a title. I'll give you some titles are huge. Like Kisi ka bhai, kisi ki jaan. Title itself is like a paragraph. Alright, so some titles are huge, right? So similarly, SA 200 has a very long title. Please write down. This is the title of SA 200. Overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards on auditing. This is kisi ka bhai, kisi ki jaan into 2 times. Overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards on auditing. This is just the title of the standard. All right. See, let me tell you. Now you know the words. I mean, you know the concept. I am just trying to sugarcoat it with words. What is the main objective of auditor? To express an opinion on the financial statements. Now tell me, is auditing a guarantee? It is a reasonable assurance. Now I am going to mix everything. All right, and write it in one paragraph. Okay. So everyone over here, please divide this into 2. To obtain reasonable assurance, you're writing the most important paragraph of audit subject, because this paragraph has been awarded as best actor in supporting role. It helps you in almost all the answers. To obtain reasonable assurance. On the other side, please write down to report. Hello, common sense. First, before I report, I'll have to first verify, na? All right, so one more. So I will first verify, then I will report. I'll first verify, then I will report. So first I will obtain reasonable assurance, and then I will report. Are you getting my point? That is why we divided it into 2. To obtain reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance on what? On global warming? No. Reasonable assurance on financial statements. Down arrow. Whether financial statements as a whole are free from Britishers' rule. Nine. So what are we going to write? Come on, use your common sense now. If there is something wrong in the financial statements, what English you are going to use? That I found a misstatement. No, don't say fraud or error. It could be either due to error or fraud. It could be either intentional or unintentional. But whenever there is something wrong in the financial statement, say that I found a misstatement. So every statement given by a miss. Sorry. So everyone over here. Whenever you find something wrong, say that I found a. One more time. Whenever you find something wrong, say that I found a misstatement. So tell me, in Reliance Industries Limited, everyone over here. In Reliance Industries Limited, if there is a misstatement of 1 lakh rupees in the overall financial statements, if there is a misstatement of 1 lakh rupees, can I say we will write in the report that financial statements are not showing a true and fair view? Yes or no, sir? See, if a student has scored 99%, will you slap him for not scoring 1%? You are going to celebrate, right? Nowadays, some parents slap for that also. So tell me, you are going to celebrate, right? Yes or no, sir? So in the entire Reliance Industries Limited, if there is an error of rupees 1 lakh, are you going to say that these financial statements are wrong? Alright. So, now there is one dialogue in DDLJ. If I am allowed to use one phrase of Hindi, बड़े बड़े देशों में छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती. English translation, in big big countries, small things keep happening. Alright. So tell me, in financial statements also small errors are fine here. We are worried that there should not be any material error. So what should be my English? Whether financial statements as a whole. Madam, conjuring. You were just going to step in a different world. This red top, yeah. Some soul was going to possess you. I pulled you from there. Alright, look at this. That's a different power that I have. Either. Whether financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements. In big countries, small things keep happening. Problem is that when in big countries, big things happen. So we are worried whether financial statements as a whole are free from. One more time. We are worried whether financial statements as a whole are free from. One more time. We are worried whether financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements. Alright. Okay. Now everyone over here. See, today I am just going to give you good words for whatever, what concepts you already know. This accounting standards, you know what are accounting standards? Acha, final accounts format. Acha, that is schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 plus accounting standards is equal to One more time, come on. Schedule 3 of Company, try one more time. Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 plus accounting standards is equal to the guidelines for preparing financial statements. Is equal to the for preparing finance. One more time. Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 plus accounting standards is equal to guidelines for preparing the financial statement. Still, I will give you a better phrase. It is called as applicable financial reporting framework. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll get used to this. Alright. First time it's going to be painful. So everyone over here. Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 plus accounting standards is equal to guidelines for preparing financial statements. Substandard English. Cheese burst. Applicable financial reporting framework. What is the cheese burst? Applicable financial reporting framework. Don't worry, we'll use this phrase 150 times. Alright. So everyone over here, come on, keep writing. Whether financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements. Down arrow. In order to form an opinion, whether financial statements are materially prepared, little bit error is fine. In order to form an opinion whether financial statements are materially prepared in accordance with AFRF applicable financial reporting framework. Applicable financial reporting framework. Okay, now listen to me. Obviously you felt that this line was difficult, so please write down one number over here, number 1 over here, and number 2 over here. So after the chart is over, we'll write it in simple words also, so that later on you are able to recollect what you have written. Number 1 over here, number 2 over here. All right. On the other side, first let us complete the chart. On the other side, to report on the financial statements, and communicate his findings. To report on the financial statements and communicate his findings in accordance with standards on auditing. At least one time please write down the full form. Standards on auditing. To report on the financial statements and communicate his findings in accordance with standards on auditing. All right. Done, everyone? Yes. Okay. Now number 1, we'll just write it in simple words. What was the meaning of the first line that you wrote? That auditor needs to obtain audit evidence that financial statements should not contain big material errors. Simply, all right, write down. Auditor needs to obtain audit evidence that financial statements, just write over here that these are supporting notes. Auditor needs to obtain audit evidence that financial statements do not contain significant errors. In fact, in Reliance Industries Limited, if the total errors are worth 8 to 10 crore rupees also, still auditor will say financial statements are showing a true and fair view. Normally in practical life, what we do is we check whether what is 1% of turnover. And till 1% of turnover, if there are mistakes, we ask client to rectify. But if they are not rectifying, we don't make an issue out of it. So auditor needs to obtain audit evidence that financial statements do not contain significant errors. And what was the meaning of the second line that you wrote? Please write down. AFRF means guidelines applicable to the entity. Keep writing, otherwise you will doze off. For preparing financial statements. Whenever I say AFRF, what you should say? Guidelines applicable to the entity for preparing financial statements. Best example at inter CA level is accounting standards plus Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Acha, you know, banking companies, they have their own format. Insurance companies also have their own format. Statutory corporations have their own laws and regulations and stuff. So everyone has its own AFRF. All right. Accounting standards plus Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So why have we written this? Please write down. Auditor needs to conclude. See, our main purpose is that I want to conclude whether financial statements are in accordance with such AFRF. Whether financial statements are in accordance with such AFRF. All right. Chalo bhai, you can never forget the objectives of auditing. So we are going to try one more time. Objectives of auditing, the main purpose of auditing. Acha, in childish English, to express an opinion on the financial statement. All right, poor version, below poverty line. All right, above poverty line, as per SA 200, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards auditing. See, if you cannot remember the title, right, as per SA 200, that's okay. Don't end up giving wrong title. All right, as per SA 200, what is our main objective? To obtain reasonable assurance whether financial statements as a whole are free from, so that I can form an opinion whether financial statements are materially prepared in accordance with AFRF, applicable financial reporting framework. No, retake please. To obtain reasonable assurance whether financial statements as a whole are free from, to form an opinion whether financial statements are materially prepared in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework. And once I have formed an opinion, then I will report on the financial statement and communicate its findings in accordance with standards on audit. Am I clear with this? Yes, sir. All right. So these are your objectives of auditing. Okay, black shirt over there. Yeah, objectives of auditing. We'll try one more time. Hello? Yeah, you can say it with me. Why, are you feeling weak? All right. RCB loss. Okay. Come on, tell me. So everyone has to participate in this. All right. Otherwise, right now only you will fail. There is no need to wait for the results. No? To obtain, see, either you please enjoy your teenage, your Javani. All right. Or you concentrate on studies. You can't waste time sitting over here. Because you understand you are aging. All right. So neither you are enjoying, nor you are studying. Then that's a waste. Then go out and enjoy. So everyone over here. To obtain reasonable assurance whether financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements. All right. Thereby enabling the auditor to form an opinion whether financial statements are materially prepared in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework. Then to report on the financial statement and communicate its findings in accordance with standards on audit. Is everyone through with this? Yes or no, sir? Yes. All right. So one more time. Tell me, correct or incorrect? Auditor's primary objective is to detect fraud. And what is the reason? Either you say that it is management's objective, or you say that auditor's primary objective is to express an opinion. Okay, I was just testing you. Come on. Now everyone over here, write down the fourth point. Scope of audit. मेरे को गर्मी हो रहा है कि एसी बंद हो गई. I just thought that I'm having a heart attack. All right, so everyone over here. Due to my weight, I always feel that. गया अभी गया. All right. So fourth point, scope of audit. Okay. Hey, what do you understand by the word scope? Scope. Scope means scope. Scope. What do you understand by the word scope? Coverage. See, scope is the what part. How much? Objective is the why part. Scope is the what and how much part. Objective is the why part. Why part we understood.
We are supposed to express an opinion, whether find that you are whole free from material misstatement, whether there are according
that we have understood that why we are doing auditing. But how much we are supposed to cover? So tell me everyone over here. Who will tell you how much you are supposed to cover? ICA. Alright. The only body which honors us, So, alright. So tell me, who is going to tell us our scope? ICA. See, why do you feel accounting standards and auditing and everything is given? So that we understand our scope, our coverage. Alright. Then Companies Act 2013 is the applicable law. So can I say law will also tell us our scope, yes or no, sir? Exactly. Achha, chalo, let me make it more practical for you. Let us say that you are conducting audit of Cadbury. Alright. And obviously, you have done costing subject little bit. So production. You would like to understand the production, how the chocolate melts, how it is frozen then. Alright. What are the ingredients? I mean for the costing purpose. Alright. Then can I say if you are the auditor, you would like to verify the inventory also, yes or no, sir? I mean counting. It is very important to check also whether it is maintaining the quality or not. In fact, can I say you will take it for laboratory testing, yes or no, sir? What yes? No? Hungry people. You are going to take Cadbury that dairy milk to laboratory testing? What, you are following that food farmer Instagram? Why will you take it for laboratory testing? You are from that Food Security Authority of India or what? We are the auditors. We are the examiners of the financial statements. I can understand your love with Cadbury. Alright, but you cannot take for laboratory testing. Achha, tell me, now I'm thinking about weird things. Let us say if you're auditing Tanishq. You are in that workshop where there are diamonds, raw jewelry and stuff. What, you are going to take it to that Hallmark Authority of India to check that hallmark or what? Then you may never return. That is why it is very important to understand your scope. Because we need to know, hey, hello, you stay within your limits, huh? Hello, oh, grey t-shirt. You stay within your limits when you are conducting audit of financial statements. Are you getting my point? Everyone over here, why are we understanding? Focus over here. I am sorry for the dramatic part. Why are we understanding our scope? So that we stay within our limits. Alright. So if anyone tells you in future, you better stay within your limit. Oh, you are making us understand our scope. That is how you are going to revise. Are you getting my point? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. So everyone over here, scope. Scope means down arrow, please write down coverage. And why I am telling you that confidently, why I am telling you that you are not supposed to take that Cadbury for laboratory testing? Because that is not within our scope. Alright, when ICA has given standards, they are not expecting that from us. Right? So scope of auditing coverage. Coverage in order to achieve objective. Coverage in order to achieve objective. Down arrow. Acha, they can use a different English also over here. Aspects to be covered. That is also scope only. Aspects to be covered in an audit of financial statements. If we start understanding their questions, no one can stop you from clearing with exemption. Aspects to be covered in an audit of financial statements. Write down. Scope depends upon LIC. L for laws and regulations. Applicable to the entity. Scope depends upon LIC. L for laws and regulations applicable to the entity. Example, Companies Act 2013. I for the ICAI, the Honorable Respected ICAI, Kuchi Kuchi ICAI, the ICAI. ICAI has issued standards on auditing. Acha, they are technically called as auditing pronouncements. You liked that Bahubali movie? Yeah, awesome movie. I don't think Bollywood will ever reach to that level. So, when you call Bahubali, ऐसा लगता है ना, so Bahubali. Imagine they start calling with their names. Hey, Prabhas. Hey, Prabhas. Okay. That is why some words are important. Okay? So, auditing pronouncements. What is the Prabhas version of this?
Standards on auditing.
Bahubali version, auditing pronouncements. Standards on auditing. And C for contract with the client. See, but if I start calling the say client, it more looks like a saloon parlor, you know, as if we are starting a saloon and I'm going to give a head massage. So our client is called as auditee. We are the auditors. So they are the auditee. Contract with the client. Contract with the client, that is auditee. Alright. Achha, technically, this contract that we sign with the client, it is called as terms of engagement. Every engagement has its own terms. Terms of engagement. Alright. So let us say that Reliance Industries Limited, when they appointed me as an auditor, let us say that they included one clause that auditor, along with audit, you will have to give a little bit of head massage to Mr. Ambani also. Tell me, are you going to accept this? Tell me, can you have any clause in the contract which is against law and the ICAI? No. Alright. So everyone, hey, this you have studied since foundation level. That there cannot be any clause in the contract which is against the law or whatever are the applicable rules, correct? Because such clause will itself be void, right? Yes, you have studied this. Okay. Achha, how do I say it in technical English? Terms of engagement cannot override. Terms of engagement cannot override applicable laws and regulations and the ICAI pronouncements. One more time. Terms of engagement cannot override applicable laws and regulations and the ICAI pronouncements. Alright. So everyone over here, please write down one supporting note for this point. Terms of engagement cannot override. Terms of engagement cannot override applicable laws and the ICAI pronouncements. Terms of engagement cannot override applicable laws and the ICAI pronouncements. All right. Second point, just write down this point. Then I will ask you to analyze it. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of the entity's business. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of entity's business. Tell me, do you agree with this line? Yes or no, sir? Acha, I am the auditor, you are my client, auditee. When we are discussing the terms, can I say I should cover all aspects of the entity's business? Yes or no, sir? Yeah, yes. Comedy statement. Listen to me. Imagine you are conducting audit of Air India. Alright. Can I say as an auditor, you will enter the flight. You will have a word with the air hostess. You will also enter the cockpit area and sit beside the pilot and ask them to fly in front of you, yes or no, sir? Because you are the auditor. You should know everything. You should cover all aspects of the entity's business. You just said yes now. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of the entity's business. I will go mad. Imagine I am conducting audit of ISRO. What, do you want me to sit on the rocket? Are you getting my point? Right. So everyone over here, that's a different thing. If I sit, the rocket will not take off. So there are some words which are missing. All right. So in your life also, you may not realize that something is missing, but something is always missing. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of entity's business that are relevant to the audit of financial statements. Are boss, if I am conducting an audit of Air India, I am worried about that ticket booking, expenses, financial statements, journal entries and stuff. I am not going to sit beside the pilot. That are relevant to the audit of financial statements. Then what if you are conducting audit of Rajamouli Productions? Rajamouli. You can please forgive me for that. So in that case, you want to see the script also of the movie? No, na? So come on, everyone. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of entity's business that are relevant to the audit of financial statements. Okay. Third point. Tell me, if I am conducting audit of a construction industry. Acha, costing. If I am conducting audit of construction industry, then can I say that the revenue that they can book is based upon the percentage completion of the building? Yes or no, sir? All right. So tell me, if you are conducting audit of a construction industry, a construction company, and let us say there is a building under construction, and they have taken money from the customers also, then how much revenue they can book is based upon the percentage completion. Then how are you going to understand that percentage completion? Can I say that you will basically look at the building? 10 floors, no? Achha, terrace also. 5 floors done. Interior work is pending. 30% completed. Estimate. See, in your costing question papers, you are given the percentage completion. Alright. It becomes easier for you. In practical life, imagine you are conducting audit of a construction company. Don't you think that you will need the help of an architect? Yes or no, sir? Yes. So construction industry, how it runs, they get an architect's certificate that this is the completion done. Based upon that certificate, we understand the revenue recognition. So as an auditor, you will have to coordinate with that architect. See, I will coordinate with that architect. I will ask some questions, but you can't expect me to have the same level of knowledge like that architect. So tell me, will you agree with me if I say that auditor is not expected to perform duties beyond the scope of his competence? One more time. Auditor is not expected to perform the duties beyond the scope of his competence. Can I say there are certain areas where we will need the help of engineers, experts? Yes or no, sir? Yes, exactly. Imagine you are conducting audit of a nuclear power reactor. And if you enter there with a lighter, can I say you will need the help of some, radiology scientist, whatever it is, to make you understand that how it runs? Yes or no, sir? Yes. So that you can understand the financials. But you cannot expect auditor to be an all-rounder. Sometimes we can be Hardik Pandya. So everyone over here, please write down. Auditor is not expected to perform duties beyond the scope of his competence. Don't expect too much from me, expectations will hurt. I mean, this auditor is saying this to you. Auditor is not expected to perform duties beyond the scope of his competence. Example, auditor cannot ascertain percentage completion of a building under construction. Auditor cannot ascertain percentage completion of a building under construction. And therefore, he may use the work performed by others. And therefore, he may use the work performed by others. See, tell me, when I'm using the work of an engineer or an architect, all right, or even the work of a lawyer in understanding legal cases and stuff, can I say I can blindly trust them? Yes or no, sir? One more time. Please stay in the moment. Yes. Hello. Please stay in the moment. You answer me, please. If I'm just a normal conversation, all right, I look very frightening, but I'm not. Okay. So tell me, if auditor is using the work of an engineer or an architect or a lawyer, can he blindly trust them? No. You cannot blindly trust anyone, right? Because you have to maintain an attitude of professional skepticism. You have to be a watchdog, not sleep dog. Right? Okay. So I will ask them some questions. I will review their work. But still, you cannot expect me to have same level of knowledge. So when you say that he may use the work performed by others, full stop, continue. Write down. Auditor is expected to exercise 3 times a week, to exercise reasonable, otherwise I would have left audit subject. Expected to exercise reasonable skill, care and caution. Auditor is expected to exercise reasonable skill, care and caution while using the work performed by others. If I just want to be your favorite, then I will say, auditor should be careful while using the work of others. But then you know now how I sounded, and that will be your career. Auditor is expected to exercise reasonable skill, care and caution. 50 rupees, one cloth 50 rupees, while using the work performed by others. CA cloth wala. Okay. So don't just say that auditor should be careful while using the work performed by others. He cannot blindly trust them. I'm extremely worried about this Gen Z language. Trust me, you guys going and writing the paper is the biggest fear that I have. All right, because you feel that examiner is your bro and you can just chat with him. So auditor cannot blindly rely upon others, because nowadays we cannot rely blindly upon anyone. So he should be very careful while using their work. All right. So do not use that language. Say auditor is expected to exercise reasonable skill, care and caution while using the work performed by others. Am I clear with this? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. So come on. What have you studied officially from me?
Don't know, sir.
Scope of audit. No. What have we studied till now? Lots of things, sir. All right. First we started with definition. Come on. No, not just the title, the content also, please. So auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. All right. And then we studied some tasks to be performed by auditor. That was just elaboration. All right. Basic premise of auditing: preparation, presentation of financial statement is the responsibility of. Acha, but it is the secondary responsibility of preparation and presentation of financial statement. Primary, secondary, it is always the responsibility of manager. Do not bring the word auditor over there. All right. Okay. So one more time. Preparation, presentation of financial statement is the responsibility of management, and where appropriate, those charged with governance. Prevention and detection of fraud and error is the primary responsibility of management. Auditor's main duty is to express an opinion on the financial statement. Auditor needs to maintain an attitude of skepticism. That is questioning mind, maintaining alertness, but not making a suspicious mind, because auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. He needs to act only upon facts and evidences. Auditor cannot be held liable for fraud in the financial statements unless it is proved that he was grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. All right. And therefore, we understand that auditor's primary objective is to express an, but secondary objective is to prevent and detect fraud and error. Secondary objective means that was not the main purpose. It is just the derived purpose. All right. So objectives of auditing is a reasonable assurance or absolute assurance. Auditor cannot provide absolute assurance because auditing suffers from constipation, inherent limitation. All right. Objectives of auditing as per SA 200. Forget the title. That's okay. Later on, you will remember it when I will ask you to write 50 times. So as per SA 200. All right. What is my objective? First, I will obtain reasonable assurance. Then I will report. Obtain reasonable assurance on what? On my papa. Whether financial statements as a whole are free from, and whether financial statements are materially prepared in accordance with applicable financial. This is applicable financial reporting framework. If it is prepared as per AFRF, then it is showing a true and fair. Correct. And then I will report on the financial statements and communicate my findings in accordance with standards on auditing. All right. Scope of audit. Scope means my coverage. The aspects to be covered. Scope depends upon LIC. All right. L for laws and regulations applicable to the entity. I for ICI pronouncement. C for contract with the client. Contract with the client is also called as terms of engagement. Terms of engagement cannot override applicable laws and the ICI pronouncements. Auditor should ensure coverage of all aspects of entity's business, but that are relevant to the audit of financial statement. Auditor is not expected to perform duties which fall beyond the scope of his competence. Therefore, he may use the work performed by others. But while using the work performed by others, auditor should exercise reasonable skill, care, and caution. Is everyone through with this? Yes. Achha, I told you that auditing is a reasonable assurance and not an absolute assurance, because auditing suffers from inherent limitations. So write down the next topic, please, everyone. Inherent limitations. After this, we'll break. Don't worry. Then we'll also suffer from inherent limitations. Inherent limitations. Acha, inherent limitations means unavoidable limitations. Unavoidable. Acha, but these are inherent limitations of audit. Huh? unavoidable. Right now, due to the following inherent limitations, auditor cannot provide absolute assurance. Due to the following inherent limitations, auditor cannot provide absolute assurance. Acha, there is another way of asking inherent limitations, because they can use multiple ways of asking the same question. They will say, please mention the reasons why auditor cannot provide absolute assurance. Then students will understand that they are asking inherent limitation. Sometimes they will use this English. Please mention the reasons why auditor cannot reduce his audit risk to zero. See, what is audit risk? Risk of expressing wrong opinion. One more time. What is audit risk? Risk of expressing wrong. Because of the inherent limitations, auditor cannot reduce his audit risk to, that means auditor cannot provide absolute assurance. So another way of asking, just put a bracket over here and write down. Therefore, auditor cannot reduce his audit risk to zero. Therefore, auditor cannot reduce his audit risk to zero. All right. Now, what are those inherent limitations? See, I am giving you a code word, but I want you to remember this logically. Code word is just to make you aisa feel happy. Ah, there is a code word. Otherwise, actually, logically only we understand. Right? Facto. So, F-A-C-T we will write together and O. Okay. But I want you to understand this logically. Tell me, when you are preparing financial statements, Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 accounting standards, there are so many financial items which have estimates, right? Depreciation, provisions, contingent liability. Can I say lots of these things are dependent upon judgment? Lots of these things are dependent upon, and therefore they are estimates, yes or no, sir? Let us say that I give you all the power on this mother earth. You are the auditor. I give you all the power on this mother earth. Let us say I give you my CFO also for 3 nights for inquiry. Even after those 3 nights with the CFO, tell me, will you be in a position to give me a guarantee that the depreciation, provision, contingent liability is 100% accurate? Because there is always an uncertainty. There is always an... So even if you give me all the power on Mother Earth, still when it comes to estimates, when it comes to, we will not be in a position to give you a guarantee. One more time. When it comes to estimates, we will not be in a position to give you a... But tell me, that is why this becomes auditor's inherent limitation. Because no matter whatever I do, in the financial statements, I will not be able to provide you a guarantee because of estimates, because of... Now I am just going to use this sugar-coated English. F for financial reporting, but I am going to use the word nature of financial reporting. Hey, what is financial reporting? Your account subject, Ray. In finance, your account subject is called as FR. Nature of financial reporting. Down arrow, write down. Preparation of financial statements involves use of judgment and estimates. Preparation of financial statement involves use of judgment and estimates. due to its uncertainty, we cannot provide absolute assurance. Never write the short form of assurance. Due to its uncertainty, we cannot provide absolute assurance. Done? And I want a confirmation. Are you through with this? Yes or no, sir? Yes. All right. A for, listen to me. A for audit procedures. But wait. We will not buy at it. We'll understand logically. Tell me, whatever we do in auditing, who guides us to do this? ICI and applicable laws. Both of them have given us limited powers. Limited legal powers. I told you just 20-30 minutes back that in Companies Act 2013, the maximum power that we have is if management is not sharing the data, not cooperating with you, just write it in the report or you bloody resign. Right? We'll find someone else. With such kind of legal powers, do you really think we are in a position to actually find out fraud? No. All right. One more time. With such kind of legal powers, do you think we are in a position to find out fraud? No. Acha. When you started reading audit subject, there is one big point that auditor needs to maintain an attitude of questioning mind, maintain alertness, go act based upon facts and evidence only, don't go with your gut feeling, no instinct. And because of this, we always remain a professional examiner. We are never able to achieve the status of an investigator. Alright, one more time. The audit procedures are designed in such a manner that the only thing that we can do is a professional examination. We can never go based upon instincts or based upon our gut feeling. And that is the reason that we can never achieve the level of, you look at income tax department, what kind of powers you have given to them. You look at enforcement directorate, what kind of powers you have given to them. Alright. They will come with 7 Scorpio. An auditor will struggle to find an Uber also. Alright. And then they will search, when they go for search and seizure, they will lock everything, they will disconnect your telephone and stuff. Alright. So, with such kind of powers, they are not able to detect fraud. And with limited powers, we are never in a position to detect fraud. Alright, so one more time. Auditing suffers from PL limitations. Which limitations? PL. P for practical, L for legal. One more time. Auditing suffers from PL limitations. P for practical, L for legal. And because of such limitations, you can never expect us to detect fraud. So everyone please write down. A for audit procedures. Nature of audit procedures. Nature of audit procedures. There are PL. This is just a bracket. Practical and legal limitations. There are PL, practical and legal limitations. Example. Audit is not an investigation. Investigation is a very high level of critical examination. Audit is not an investigation. Second, limited legal power given by applicable law. Limited legal power given by applicable law. In fact, when you will study the entire subject of audit, you will always see auditor should request management to share the data. If management is not sharing, discuss with those charged with governance. try to take a legal view what to do over here. So it's a proper very lethargic practice. Third example and the last example. Achha, the most comedy and tragic thing is, if you have studied your company law is done, then in that case, section 139 of Companies Act 2013, board of directors will recommend the name of auditor to the members. That means, imagine as a student, you get a chance to select your own examiner. Then can I say you will select your friends only, yes or no, sir? Exactly. Boss, if my appointment itself depends upon the board of directors, I am going to lick, are you getting my point? Correct. Because my appointment itself depends upon the board of directors. All right. There should be a separate legal authority, all right, who is appointing the board of, the auditor. Right? Procedures, if you want to learn the practical way, what I'm trying to make you right over here. Procedures are not designed to detect fraud. Lick their shoes, huh? Procedures are not designed to detect fraud. All right. Are you done, everyone? Yes, sir. And now we are going to talk like common people, common man. C&T, cost and time. Can I say everyone is suffering from some or the other cost constraints? Yes or no, sir? Except Ambani, everyone is suffering from some or the other cost constraints. And there is always a time constraint. There is always a time constraint. Achha, let us say if you are conducting, hello, over here. If you are conducting audit of Reliance Industries Limited, don't you think that you should check every single transaction and every single invoice properly? Yes or no, sir? Oh, yes, kaun bol? Yeah. 9:30 break, yeah. Think about what you are saying, man. Tomorrow you are going to face an interview. Right? So tell me, if you are conducting audit of Reliance Industries Limited, are you going to verify every single invoice and every single transaction? No. You may take 7 birds to do that. Please tell me, to verify 100% of the transactions of Reliance Industries Limited. Let us say if you employ 1,000 people, do you really think that you have the resources to employ 1,000 people staff to conduct audit of Reliance Industries Limited? No. Even the big fours who are conducting audit of Reliance Industries Limited, maximum they have a staff of 35-40 people for that particular audit. Right? So please tell me, sometimes you will be suffering from cost constraint, sometimes you will be suffering from time constraint, and that is the reason auditor cannot verify 100% of the transaction. That is why auditor adopts sampling technique. Which technique? Auditor adopts sampling technique. All right. For example, yes, you that blue shirt, light sky blue shirt. Yeah. All right. Tell me, is auditor primarily responsible for detecting fraud? No. This is sampling technique. Now you understood that this person is picking up anyone. All right. So maybe in the next lecture you will revise. That is how I can reduce the chance of errors. But still I cannot provide a 100% guarantee. So everyone over here, please write down cost and time constraints. But please ensure that when you are writing, the language is little above poverty line. See what happens in this point, normally the middle class of ours comes out. Due to limited budget and funds constraint, auditor cannot do everything. He also has to earn some return on investment. No? And due to the time constraint, you cannot expect auditor to spend lots of time in that. The middle class person inside our heart may come out when we are writing this answer. And that is the reason, please focus on what I am making you write. Please write down. Auditor needs to conduct cost benefit analysis. Oh, yeah. Cost benefit analysis. The sugar coated word of middle class person. Auditor needs to conduct cost benefit analysis. Auditor is expected to deliver audit reports within the defined time frame. Auditor is expected to deliver the audit reports within the defined time frame. Achha, in company law, you would have heard about this, that during annual general meeting, the notice which is delivered, in that notice, the audited financial statements are also given. They're attached. And after annual general meeting is done, then there is a filing that needs to be done with ROC. So obviously there is a defined time frame. One more time, there is a defined time frame within which we need to finish our audit. And therefore, auditor verifies on sampling basis. Therefore, auditor verifies on sampling basis. Achha, if I ask you a question and if you go wrong, it is completely fine. Huh? I will never say that why you are going wrong and stuff. That's okay. At least you are trying to give answer. At least you are in face-to-face coaching. Alright. So nowadays behind the camera we don't know what is happening. So it's okay and I'm happy with this. Therefore, auditor verifies on sampling basis. Okay. O for other matters. Acha, others is not sundry, what you think. They have, in other matters also, they have given 4 matters. Acha, these 4 matters, the moment I ask you, you will realize that you cannot give a guarantee over here. Tell me, can you give me a guarantee that all the Tata companies and all the Reliance companies will continue for the next 12 months? You are almost certain but not sure. Tell me, I'm talking about which concept? Going concern. Can you ever give a guarantee on any entity's going concern? So you will automatically understand what I'm going to write over here. Then tell me, fraud involving senior management. See, fraud involving junior management, you can still try to detect because they may commit some childish errors. But when the CFO himself is involved in the fraud, he will fool you in such a manner, it will be very difficult for you to detect. So can I say fraud involving senior management? And even when you were a child, you felt that you are hiding something from your parents, effectively. But they always knew about it. But now as you are growing, my God, your levels of concealment have breached all limits. Now if you want to hide something from your parents, you can hide it forever. So when the moment you achieve seniority, can I say you can conceal everything smartly? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. All right. Then tell me, today let us say if I am collecting fees from the students. On the fees, we are supposed to pay GST. But tell me, this is B2B business or B2C business? B2C. You are consumers. We are business. Tell me, are you going to go to and take that GST input tax credit? No. I know that if I give you a GST bill, you are just going to keep it in your wallet or in your cupboard. You are not going to go there and collect input tax credit. So let us say if I've collected 3 crores of GST from you, and if I deposit only 1 crore with the government, do you really think that government will be able to detect that? Obviously, I would have taken your receipts in different accounts, Ray. Alright, can tell me, in B2C business, can I say that theft of GST is easy in comparison to B2B business? Yes or no, sir? So tell me, when someone is not complying with laws and regulations, can I say they are going to do very smartly? Yes or no, sir? So tell me, non-compliance with laws and regulations, violation of laws and regulations, is it easy to detect or it is difficult to detect? Very difficult to detect, because when you are going to violate a law and regulation, you will do it very smartly. All right. Adani Enterprises. My God. What is the blame on Adani Enterprise? Don't talk like Rahul Gandhi over here. What is the actual blame on Adani Enterprise? They have a lot of debts. But from where did that claim originate? So what is the blame on Adani Enterprises? Obviously, I'm not accusing them of that. All right, I'm just whatever is the public report, I'm just giving a report on that. All right, okay, so no boycott, please. Okay. So when it comes to Adani Enterprises, the biggest blame is that Adani Enterprises invested in their own subsidiaries, then the shares of their own subsidiaries, they kept it with the bank as a security. Now tell me, my subsidiary is worth only rupees 1 crore. With fake valuation, I will show it at 1,000 crore. It is my subsidiary only. No? It is very easy to manipulate. Then I will keep those shares with the bank. I will say I have 1,000 crores worth rupees shares in 1,000 crores shares. Then I will take a loan of 600 crores against that 1,000 crores. Actually, the subsidiary is only 1 crore. All right. So their own subsidiaries shares, they have pledged it with the bank with fake valuations, and they have taken loan against that. That is the blame. That is what they are accused of. I am not saying that it is proven. But why it was easy for Adani Enterprises to do that? Own subsidiaries. It is very easy to manipulate your own people, yes or no, sir? Yes. In fact, your own people will support you in that. Related party transactions. What am I trying to say? Related party transactions. The biggest, if you talk about this country after terrorism and climate change, the third biggest problem is related party transactions. Through related party transactions, people can manipulate and evade tax and gain fake valuations, gain fake loans. Are you getting my point? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. All right. So one more time. I talked about 4 matters in this other matters. I'll give you a code word for that. GF is related to in-laws. Please write down the code. GF is related to in-laws. If this is the case, it will be very difficult to detect. G for going concern assessment. G for going concern assessment. F for fraud involving senior management. Don't just write fraud. Huh? Fraud involving senior management. Related party transactions. In-laws. Non-compliance with laws and regulations. I will dictate, don't worry. Related say related party transactions. And in-laws. In-laws and laws are same only. No? If you want to fool in-laws also, you have to do it very smartly. Non-compliance with laws and regulations. In the entire subject, wherever you see the word laws, just substitute with in-laws and you will start enjoying. Non-compliance with laws and regulations. Non-compliance with laws and regulations. Alright, we are almost at the end of it. Just one more line. Achha, non-compliance with laws and regulations. Done? Yes, yes. Last bench over there. Done? Okay. Now listen to me. Let us say that you are auditor of Tata Steel. Okay. So Tata Steel, as on 31st March, there is something called as inventory, right? Are hello. Yeah. Then don't tell me audit is a theory subject. Alright. I am giving all the practical discussion to you. So as on 31st March, there will be huge inventory of steel at Tata Steel factory units. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Achha, there is one standard on auditing, SA 501, which says that we have to go for physical verification of inventory. So as on 31st March, let us say if there are 50 locations of Tata Steel, and most of the locations we have to try and reach over there. All right. Management has to count the stock. We have to observe whether they are counting properly or not. All right. That is called as stock audit. It is called as what? Stock audit. So when you proceed to your articleship, you will realize this, that 25th March to 1st April or 2nd April will be a very hectic time for you if you are into the audit of financial statements, because you may have to, and if you are conducting audit of manufacturing industries, you will have to visit various places, be physically present over there. All right. They will count the stock in front of you. You will observe that. So let us say that today the temperature, let us say as on 31st March is 42 degrees. and you're like, it's basically I have a problem of sunstroke, heat stroke and stuff. I cannot bear so much of heat. And that Tata Steel location, have you seen that location? Have you seen the dust over there? I'm allergic. I really cannot bear this dust and heat. So I'll do one thing. I'll ask some employee over there to hold the phone. I'll sit at my home, AC on, fortunately. All right. And I'll do a video call. And I'll verify the stock through video call. What's the need to be physically present over there? Because really, this heat and dust, it's killing me. Tell me. So auditor decides to go for a video call because the heat and dust is unbearable for the auditor. And he has a medical certificate also to prove that. Then in that case, do you think that auditor is negligent? Yes or no, sir? Oh, second last bench. Get up. Get up, please. I request you to get up. Do you think auditor is negligent? Negligent. So what do you think? He should go there in spite of the heat and dust. And then sit down. All right. Someone prompted the answer? No? Okay. Why are you answering along with him? So tell me everyone. Is auditor negligent over here? Yes or no, sir? That means he should be there even though he has a medical certificate. Bolo. He can send someone, no? All right. Let us say all of his articles also are the same category. All right. They come from Switzerland. All right. Tell me, is auditor still negligent? Yes or no, sir? Yes. Very good answer. Very good answer. Auditor is negligent. Because the matter of general inconvenience cannot be an excuse to omit the procedure. One more time. The matter of general inconvenience cannot be an excuse to omit the procedure which is required by standards on auditing. One more time. The matter of general inconvenience cannot be an excuse to omit the procedure which is required by standards on auditing. So all the work from home guys, auditor is negligent over here because SA 501 says that you have to go for physical verification of inventory. Am I clear with this? Achha, let us rewind 4 years back. Oh, in fact, pre-pandemic, my last lecture was in Bangalore only. So we were taking a lecture behind closed doors. I think it was 16th or 17th March 2020. And then the news channel people also came over there. All right. And then after a gap of 3-4 years, I'm visiting now. So tell me, pandemic, although it was a very dark phase in our life, but still we'll have to discuss because in the ICI question papers, they are discussing it. And they're asking questions based upon that. They think that pandemic will come every 3 years. So it is better to train students for that. Because, with pandemic, ICI got very excited. Because they got a full new question bank, They don't have to think now. Just put pandemic and question becomes difficult. So due to the lockdown restrictions, think about 25th March. All right. 25th March, 26th March. Due to the lockdown restrictions, don't you think that physical verification of inventory for the financial year 1920 was very difficult? Yes or no, sir? Can you expect the articles to walk the tracks and reach the godowns over there? So tell me, if there are government restrictions and due to that, if auditor goes for a video call, then is it fine? Yes or no, sir? Yes. Obviously, yes. So one more time. Matter of general inconvenience is not an excuse to omit the procedure, all right, which is required by standards on audit, unless it is impracticable. If it is impracticable, we cannot do anything. For example, let us say if China and India start fighting near the border areas, let us say it's a Navy fight, and you are conducting audit of a company which supplies uniforms to Navy. And for strategically to supply uniforms faster, their go down is at the border area with it. So you can send your article. Article is fine. Tell me, can I say that you will skip the physical verification over there? Yes or no, sir? Because there is a threat to the safety of auditor. Because there is a safety of auditor. I want a confirmation. Is everyone clear with this? Yes. One last thing on this same line. In company law, you have heard something called as casual vacancy. Due to auditor's death or something like that, resignation, removal. So let us say there is one auditor Alpha, all right, of X Limited. He just died 2 days before that notice of AGM deadline. Just 2 days before the notice of AGM deadline. Then in that case, can I say management will have to appoint another auditor, yes or no, sir? Yeah. What do you think? It's like kidney or what? Ek hi gaya na. So everyone over here, come on, tell me if auditor has died and he has not submitted the audit report, and I understand that we have only 48 hours before we send the AGM notice, but still management will have to appoint another auditor, yes or no, sir? Management appoints another auditor within 24 hours. And management requests his auditor, you have only 24 hours to conduct audit. Okay, marathon lectures. Are tell me. Can I say that this is a very exceptional situation, yes or no, sir? And that is the reason that auditor will have to take some time and verify, yes or no, sir? Yes, he will have to request management to postpone the AGM. Even if management has to pay a fine for that, then fine. But I cannot conduct a crash course or marathon course of audit and finish the audit of entire company within 24 hours, yes or no, sir? Yes.